Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Not since August 10th have the Tigers been in first place all by themselves. Well, they are now after last night's win, a half-game lead over Kansas City. Cleveland comes in 4.5 games back in the Central. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Ron Allen, Jack Morris. Glad to have you with us here tonight. Tigers trying to make it 2 straight in this series. And Ron, again, J.D. Martinez came through last night, and boy, has he been clutch for the Tigers this year.
You know, if you're J.D. Martinez and if you're the Tigers, more than likely J.D. Martinez is the leader in the clubhouse for that left field position next year. Already 21 home runs this year. Majority of those home runs have come very, very late. He hit a big home run yesterday, and he just continues to assault the Cleveland Indians pitching staff. I'm looking very forward to watching J.D. Martinez once again go out there and try to beat up on Salazar, who's starting for the Indians tonight.
All right, Jack, let's talk about the starting pitching matchup tonight. Kyle Lobstein for the Tigers, Danny Salazar for the Indians. 2 guys that pretty much get it done in different ways.
You know, Kyle Lobstein's making his 4th career start. He's making his 3rd start here at Comerica. He's won his last game against San Francisco, and he's pitching for the first time, the 2nd time around against the same team. He's a guy that has a lot of poise for a young pitcher, and I really think that his breaking ball will be effective again. He struck out 10 Indians the last time he faced him. On the other hand, Danny Salazar is a guy who his number 2, his secondary pitch has got to be effective. Otherwise, that fastball can be exposed, and he can get hit pretty hard.
All right, we look forward to it tonight. Game 2 in the series. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Lindsey Hayes. Last night, he did whatever Spider-Man could. It was Alex Avila bouncing into the screen and holding on. Tigers drive next. Baseball, Tigers and the Indians, game 2 in this series. Tigers won the opener last night. Kyle Lobstein is on the hill tonight for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
See the numbers for Kyle Lobstein right there. 10 of those 16 strikeouts came against this team right here. His last outing, 5 1/3 innings against Cleveland, 2 starts ago, excuse me.
So it'll be Michael Bourne leading it off. It'll be Bourne, Aviles, Brantley as they will face Lobstein here in game 2 in this series. Kyle's set to go to work. Lefty-lefty matchup to start this one off, and here we go. The first pitch of tonight's ball game is a strike called on Michael Bourne.
For the most part, the Tigers have done a really nice job this season against Michael Bourne, and it's very important that they do as well tonight, keeping him off the base paths. They're a much better team when he gets on.
Bourne looks at another strike and quickly 0-2.
That's what Lobstein has done very well. No problem getting ahead of hitters in the few starts he's had at this level.
Working quickly, the 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2 the count.
That's a big plus for a young pitcher to see him coming in and throwing strikes, challenging hitters. He's got a very good breaking ball, a lot of confidence in it.
Now the 1-2. Missed inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that pitch right there will be important as well tonight for Lobstein. Not afraid to throw the ball off the plate to the left-handers and the right-handers to open up the outside corner with a good breaking ball, should he do that.
Lifted back out of play. 2-2 the count, stays on the leadoff man, Michael Bourne.
He did throw the breaking ball there to Bourne, but he didn't bury it to where Avila wanted it. He left that one up in the strike zone, and Bourne able to get a piece of it.
First major league victory in his last outing against the Giants, giving up 1 run in 5 2/3. Now again the 2-2. Drilled to center field, base hit. Bourne taking an aggressive turn. He's going to try for 2. Davis has thrown, not in time. And Michael Bourne runs himself into a double to start this ball game.
It's a fastball inside to Michael Bourne, but he didn't quite get it in as far as he wanted to get it in. And because of that, Michael Bourne gets his first hit of the series. And not only does he get a hit, but he's thinking 2 out of the batter's box, even though Rajay Davis out in center field and Torrey Hunter, both guys have good speed, but doubles are made out of the batter's box, and Bourne gives you the definition of that.
Early scoring chance for the Indians. Leadoff double. Here's Mike Aviles.
Wouldn't be shocked to see Aviles maybe even try to put down a bunt to get the runner in the scoring position.
In tied at third was Castellanos. Lobstein will handle it though, and the sacrifice will move the runner up. Here's the rest of the Indians lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. And for Cleveland tonight, you saw their top 2, Bourne and Aviles. Brantley will hit third, then Santana, Yan Gomes, 331 after the All-Star break. He's catching. Then Kipnis at second, Rayburn, Chisenhall, and Jesus Aguilar, the bottom 3. Infield in right away now for the Tigers as Brantley, who has been terrific with men in scoring position, stands in.
And when you pull the infield in, that makes Brantley that much better.
Brantley had a couple of hits in last night's game. And he looks at a ball inside, 1-0. 370 this year with men in scoring position. And they're in all the way around in the infield.
That 370 batting average, second in the major leagues, actually second in the American League.
Now the 1-0. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brantley, 91 RBIs, leads his ball club. Good shot at getting to 100 for the first time in his career this year. It's been that kind of season for the talented outfielder for the Indians. An all-star season. Fouled at home plate, 1-2.
Danny Salazar's last outing may have dictated why the infield is playing in right now. He shut out the Tigers, his first complete game shutout the last time he faced Detroit, and that might have a little bit of an effect of why the infield's playing in right here with only 1 out in the first inning.
I know Lobstein had 10 strikeouts his last outing against this Cleveland Indians team, but that is something that Brantley does not do a lot of, does not strike out a whole lot, and even though there's 2 strikes, you still have to pitch very carefully here to Brantley.
Lifted back out of play.
And the worst thing that you could do here in this situation is you walk him and you go after the dangerous hitter in the on-deck circle, Santana. But Santana does ground into quite a few double plays.
Very odd to see the infield in, as Jack mentioned early, but that start you talked about, Jack, 9 punch-outs in 9 innings, and he did not allow a single run or a walk.
That was the best start of his major league career thus far.
Here's the 1-2. Sprays that one foul.
Well, the significance of Michael Bourn getting to second base on what should have been a base hit is significant. It puts a lot more pressure on the pitcher. Aviles does a nice job of bunting him over, and with a runner at third base and only 1 out, you're already in a bind. The game has just started and you're already in a bind. Big pitch coming up right here against Brantley.
And he takes low in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's exactly what you want to see if you're Lobstein and you do throw the breaking ball up there with a runner on third base. You want to see your catcher get down there and block it, and you really can't do it any better than Avila did right here.
You can see the grip. He had that spike curveball, and that was a good spot for it. He's trying to get Michael Brantley to maybe chase, be over aggressive early. Good pitch and a great block by the catcher.
Here's the 2-2. There's another foul at home plate. Well, the Indians scored first in last night's ball game. They got the home run by Rayburn in the second, and then it was all Tigers after that. Cleveland trying to jump out to an early lead here, and really, guys, a critical game for Cleveland if they want to consider hanging around the last 2 weeks.
It really is. This is almost do or die time for Cleveland.
4.5 games back in third place. And Brantley takes outside, and now he's run the count full at 3-2. Carlos Santana waiting on deck, just underway. It's been an 8-pitch at bat so far. And a cool evening here at the ballpark. Now Lobstein ready with the 3-2. Fouled away again.
Already quite a few pitches. And fouled off by the Cleveland Indians batters here in the first inning, thrown by Lobstein.
Brantley now has seen 9 in this at bat. And he's been hot for them, 5 for his last 10. Attempting to deliver an early run here in the first inning with the infield in. Drilled in the air to right field. That ball is hit well. It is back and it is gone. A home run for Michael Brantley. And the Indians have jumped out to a 2-0 lead, 3 batters into this game.
Well, we brought it up after he was able to get ahead of Michael Brantley. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The fact that you had to pitch to him very carefully. You had a base open. He is their best hitter. He is their most dangerous hitter. He's driven in more runs than anybody on their team. And Lobstein tried to get another fastball inside at 88, but he didn't get there. And Michael Brantley was sitting there waiting for him.
It's really a case where he probably threw the pitch he wanted. It was inner half, but Brantley's looking inner half. And I think for a pitcher, the deeper you go into a count with a guy, the advantage goes to the hitter. He starts timing you. He knows you have nothing left to get him out with.
And Tigers, they don't do very well against Michael Brantley anyway.
That was home run number 19 for Brantley. 93 RBIs now. Santana out in front of the off-speed pitch, 1-1. 233 on the year. He was hitless in last night's ball game. 1 out, bases empty, 2 runs in on the Brantley homer. Here's the 1-1. Way outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Lobstein's first appearance for the Tigers came in relief, but he threw 5 2/3 back on the 23rd in Minnesota. That's on the outer edge, 2-2.
Well, pitching is a lot about damage control and avoiding the crooked number, the big inning that can really take you out of a ball game. It's early. 2 runs should not be a concern. He's got to get through this inning.
Now it's 3-2 on Santana. Yan Gomes waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Got him in chase, and there are 2 gone. First strikeout of the game now for Kyle Lapstein.
And while we have a moment here, I'll set the Tigers' defensive alignment for you. It is presented by Beaumont Health System. Left to right, you've got Martinez, Davis, and Hunter. Third to first, you've got Castellanos, Romine, Kinsler. Mickey, he's back over at first tonight. Avila, he's the catcher. The Tigers, they've been catching the baseball the last 5 games. They've only made 1 error, and because of that, they've won the majority of the games. They have 4-1.
Brad Ausmus has been picking his spots to put Miguel back out there at first base, and apparently he feels good enough tonight.
I talked to Victor Martinez before the game today, and he says he just loves playing first base, loves playing defense.
I mean, are there any guys out there that you think really enjoy DHing? I think most guys love to get out there and play, don't they?
Jim told me.
Yeah, well, he got a pretty good career out of it.
No longer playing, but he loved it. I think it takes a special guy to know that role and just want to DH. Most guys prefer, I think, to be active in the field.
It's drilled to right field and caught on the run by Torrey Hunter to retire the side. 2 runs on the home run by Michael Brantley. Tonight, Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and here's how it looks this evening. Kinsler, Hunter, Cabrera in your top 3 spots. Victor Martinez, 52nd multi-hit game of the season last night. That's the 3rd most in the American League. JD's out on the left. Avila is catching. You've got Castellanos, Romine, and Rajay Davis, your bottom 3. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Mr. Danny Salazar.
Yeah, we talked about Danny getting his first career complete game, and it was a shutout against the Tigers 2 starts ago. And it all really revolves around his secondary pitch. He's got an extremely live arm, fastball in the high 90s. But can he command that breaking ball and changeup? Got a good changeup if he keeps it down.
Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. They've got Brantley back out there today. He's in left field. He's already homered in the game, and when the ball's hit to left field, he makes the third base coach think twice. 12 outfield assists for Michael Brantley. That is 4th most in the majors.
Ian Kinsler starts it off, takes strike 1 from Salazar.
And Jack talked about the big arm of Salazar, but to go with that upper 90s fastball, he'll throw a splitter. He also throws a curveball, slider. Most of his swings and misses, however, come on his fastball and his slider to right-handed batters.
Tigers would like to get Kinsler going. He is just 4 for his last 22. A couple of those hits came last night, though. It's 2 out of 5.
He should get a good fastball to hit right here. Salazar with a 2-run lead. He's not afraid to throw that heater. It'll be about 95-2.
2-2 the count. Salazar, 24 years old, a native of Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. 6 feet 195. Jan Gomes leading him tonight. Here's the 2-2. Fouled away.
You can see how free and easy Danny Salazar's fastball is. It's almost effortless. He really has that explosive wrist flip. Makes it look like he's not really exerting a lot of effort to throw it that hard.
Checked it. Did he go? Yes, he went around. Jerry Lane.
And Salazar pitched against the Tigers. This was on September 3rd. This was in their ballpark in Cleveland, and he was lethal. He threw 118 pitches in the game. He did not give up that many hits. He did not give up any runs whatsoever. And the Tigers, boy, they just could do nothing against him. That split-fingered fastball was absolutely lethal that evening.
His first career shutout on September the 3rd against the Tigers.
Probably the most impressive thing is the fact that he didn't walk anybody. This guy can get wild, but that night he was spot on.
Torrey Hunter, the batter. Drives one in the air, deep into left field. That ball hit well. Brantley going back, track, wall to make the catch. Just died out there in left center field. 2 gone.
They've got some wind up there tonight, blowing left to right, and I think that ball kind of got up there, and because the wind is blowing back towards center field, it knocked it down. Brantley, outstanding defender, able to run it down. Here's a swing by Torrey Hunter on a fastball that basically split the plate. I thought he got much more of that than it ended up.
Off the bat, it sounded really good, and then it just fell right into the glove of Brantley. 2 gone now for Miguel Cabrera. 0-1. Miggy 1 out of 4 last night, scored a run. Down the right field line, but slicing. 0-2 on Miguel.
Miggy all bundled up down there tonight. Got his turtleneck on. A little chilly down there.
It's that time of the year. We are unable to break 60 degrees here at game time. It's in the 50s. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Cabrera goes down, and the Tigers go 1-2-3. Couple of strikeouts for Danny Salazar.
The Tribe leading 2-0. Look at Kyle Opstein's last start in Cleveland. He gave up a 2-run homer in the first inning to Carlos Santana, and then he settled down nicely gave up a 2-run homer here in the first inning to Michael Brantley. We'll see if he follows suit.
Epstein struck out 10 in that ball game. After that first inning home run, he was awfully good, and now he will face Jason Kipnis to start things off here in the second. In tied at third base, Castellanos on the grass. And Kipnis drives one in the air to right field. Torrey is on the run. He'll get there in the gap.
And Lobstein's going to have to do a better job with that fastball if he's going to try to get inside to these left-handed batters. That is 3 left-handers that have barreled him up pretty nicely. Bourne did it. Michael Brantley left the building, and that's a nice swing put on the baseball by Kipnis.
Here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scott's Company. 57 here at game time tonight. It's cool, but the main thing is it's clear. And no rain in sight. That's good news. Here is Ryan Rayburn, who homered in his first at bat last night. And for Rayburn, it's been a really kind of a lost season. He's been on the DL. His numbers have not been good. He comes in with a 200 batting average. Lobstein with the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
Ryan Rayburn had 3 pretty good at bats last night against David Price. He singled, he homered, and he also lined out.
Outside 3-0.
Ian Kinsler made a real nice play. David Price, he was on top of his game last night once again.
Pitch, and it's ball 4. Rayburn an extra look to make sure it was ball 4.
There's the ongoing debate of whether who has the advantage when a pitcher faces a team in back-to-back starts, or in this case a start in between. But the first time that Lobstein has been facing the same team, and with the division play the way it is, you're going to do that quite often if you stick around the major leagues.
Yeah, up to 4, 5, 6 times a year.
Do you have to change if you're Lobstein due to the fact that you had success?
I think if you dominate a game as a pitcher, the opposition's probably worried about you. But if you have struggled, they can't wait to get you again. So I think it's really hard if you don't have a lot of success that first time to face the team again. I personally think the advantage goes to the hitters because they've had a good look at you and it's fresh in their memory.
On the outer edge, a strike on Chisenhall, 1-1. Lobstein, by and large, did not have trouble with the base on balls in his starts in Toledo. He has walked his first here tonight. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off at home plate. 1-2 on Chisenhall. Kyle goes 6'3", 200-pounder, born in Flagstaff, Arizona. His father actually spent his early childhood in Brown City, Michigan, in Michigan's thumb, so he does have some connections to the state of Michigan. Dad was a big Tigers fan growing up. Dad named Eric. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off again.
He got that fastball in a little bit better, about belt high. Not much Chisenhall could do with it except make contact.
A couple of hits last night for Chisenhall. Aguilar waiting on deck for the Indians.
Aguilar, big boy. Big body.
And the 1-2. Popped him up back behind home plate, not a play. That's a pretty good catch down there by that gentleman. Barehanded, one-handed. The 1-2. Ground ball right at the bag at first. Miggy tags. And now caught in a rundown. Rayburn. Little game of pickle here, and he's tagged out. That'll be a double play to end the inning. No runs, a walk, nobody left. game presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I'm doubling up tonight. I had JD last night. I'm going to go with him again today.
I've got Rajay Davis tonight.
You got him using his legs?
I sure do.
Stealing a couple bags? Well, look who Jack has.
Got to go with the starting pitchers. The boys on a roll.
All right, he's got Lobstein tonight. Here is Victor Martinez, JD Martinez, and then Alex Avila. And the Tigers second. Danny Salazar had a 1-2-3 first with a couple of strikeouts. Sun beginning to set here at the ballpark. Another nice crowd here this evening. Tigers came into play with a half-game lead in the Central. And Salazar throws one right down the middle of strike, 0-1.
And Boston Red Sox the last couple of nights in Kansas City has taken care of the Royals.
Hopefully more of the same tonight. Victor DHing tonight. Here's the 0-1. High fly ball right field. Hit well. Rayburn going back, and he'll run it down right at the edge of the track. It's going to bring up JD Martinez, which also brings us to our Bernstein advantage. And JD owns it against the Central Division. How about these numbers against the Central?
Well, one of the things that the Central has, they've got a lot of hard throwers. The Kansas City Royals, they've got quite a few hard throwers on their staff. We've well documented the fact that Cleveland also has quite a few guys that have 95 and above fastballs. And JD Martinez, well, he simply feasts against those two squads.
He's up there now with one out. JD fouls it back. 0-1.
He may get a supply of more heaters here tonight. Salazar loves his fastball, but he also can throw that good breaking ball, and it doesn't even have to be a strike when he's ahead in the count.
That's going to be the key for JD, laying off that slide piece.
Fastball rides high at 97.
And maybe just a show me fastball by Salazar at 97 up in the zone. Back-to-back fastballs. We'll see if he decides to go to something softer here away from JD Martinez. Nope.
On the outer edge at 98. Even faster. 1-2. JT in the month of September, 4 home runs, over 300. The thing about Salazar is he just seems so effortless, Jack, in his delivery to the plate.
Oh, he's got very good mechanics. He gets that arm out in front of him, and like you say, a lot of fastball pitchers really generate speed from their flipping of the wrist, and he's got that very fluid wrist.
Swing and a miss as he chases out of the zone.
5 straight fastballs to JD Martinez, all of them 95 miles an hour and above.
That one at 98 up with the letters, and Martinez couldn't handle it.
Not too many guys can. You chase up out of the zone like that, you probably see it bigger than big because it's right up there near your head, but you're not going to catch up to it. Hard to keep the hands on top of the ball.
Two gone now. Here is Alex Avila batting in the 6th slot tonight. Avila 1 for 3 last night, had a walk, had an RBI, and he takes ball 1. .45 driven in this year for the Tigers catcher. Trying to get something started here with 2 outs. We're in the second. 2-0 Cleveland. Steady diet of fastballs now. Another one missing high from Salazar.
Alex doing a good job of laying off that high heater, not chasing. That ball's out of the zone. JD Martinez just a little over aggressive.
Swung right through that one.
Against a guy that is throwing as hard as Salazar is throwing here tonight, if you're JD Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, or in this case Alex Avila, you've got to be very short to the baseball. You cannot have a lot of moving parts, and you can't take an overly aggressive swing. Just get the barrel of the bat over the heart of the plate and let him supply most of the power.
Well, he is just bringing it tonight. Another fastball, and here are the pitches 95 plus.
Yeah, he's only thrown a grand total of 22. How about that?
Yeah, and 2 of those strikeouts were breaking balls, so he's coming at you with the gas early.
He's got one of the livest arms of any of the young pitchers in baseball.
Wow. He just threw that one by. 97. Avila overmatched there. 4 strikeouts for Salazar. The Tigers go 1-2-3. Tigers baseball presented by Belt Tire. Rod and Jack are big Star Wars fans, so they're really into it tonight. How about this, fellas? Star Wars night here at the ballpark. Big evening.
How about it, Jack?
Yeah, it's a big evening. Great crowd.
Look at Rod just volleying it. How about it, Jack? Boba Fett threw out the first pitch tonight. And even Paul's getting into the act. Chewbacca, Princess Leia. That's it. I'm about out of characters there. Here we go to the third. It's a 2-0 ball game. The Indians on top. And Kyle Lapstein goes back to the hill facing the number 9 hitter, Jesus Aguilar. And then Michael Bourne and Mike Aviles. Lapstein goes to work. And he misses outside 1-0. Aguilar is just 3 for 23, so that computes out to 130 at the major league level. But his minor league numbers awfully good. On the outside corner, 1-1. 304 this year at AAA, 77 RBIs. Showed some power with 19 homers. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Dangerous count here for Lobstein to Aguilar. Should he try to throw a fastball by him in this fastball friendly count?
3-1.
Same thing applies on the next delivery.
On deck, Michael Bourne. Fly ball right field, slicing away from Hunter. Torrey on the run to the corner. 1 gone.
For the most part, the Tigers have been able to keep Michael Bourne quiet this year, but Lobstein wasn't that fortunate in the first inning with 2 strikes. He tried to get a fastball inside. Bourne was able to fight it off. He got himself a hustling double because Rajay Davis was playing over in left center field, and Bourne was able to read that. And then he tried to get another fastball inside with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, to Michael Brantley, their most dangerous hitter. And Brantley made him pay with his 19th big fly of this season.
So Bourne stands in with the bases empty, and he looks at a strike, 0-1. Bourne coming in with only 10 stolen bases this year. And we say only because he has been a big stolen base producer in his time in the major leagues, mostly in the National League. He's not had less than 20 since 2007, so that's how much he's used his legs in his career.
Get this. Michael Bourne has 10 triples this year, and you just said 10 stolen bases. That just doesn't seem right.
No, doesn't compute, does it? He's been caught 6 times.
Those 10 triples were 10 singles. You'd have 10 more stolen bases. Maybe 20 more.
That's possibly true. Let's go back to the studio now for game break. Here's Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks. We'll keep our eyes certainly on that game. The Tigers came in leading by a half in the Central. Here's Aviles. Sacrificed a runner up back in the first inning prior to the home run by Brantley. Here's the 2-0. Strike call, 2-1. Aviles cuts and misses, 2-2.
Good change up there by Lobstein. Had Aviles fooled, and he was out on that front foot, couldn't hold up. The bat came forward as the body came forward, and usually those are the kind of swings that you'll see.
Low 3-2. Waiting on deck is Brantley, who got him for the 2-run homer back in the first. And Aviles shoots one to center field right at Davis. It'll be a 1-2-3 inning, and Kyle has settled in after that home run in the first inning. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Ram Trucks, come in and get a great deal during Ram Truck Month going on now. And by Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, you know you love it. Chilly night here at the ballpark. Tigers Indians game 2 in this series. Tribe right now with a 2-0 lead. In the bottom of the third, Danny Salazar has looked awfully impressive so far. He has struck out 4 of the first 6 Tigers that he has faced.
Perfect through 2. The Tigers are going to have to lay off that fastball that gets up above their hands. If they don't, it's going to be a tough night for them.
And Castellanos looks at a strike. He'll get things started here. 7-8-9 facing The right-hander Salazar.
Yeah, word starting to get around on Castellanos, the fact that he loves to swing at first pitch fastballs. Therefore, Salazar started him off with a breaking ball and then followed that up with another breaking ball.
Castellanos 1 for 3 last night. 1-1 is looped in the air to shallow right field, and it's going to get by Ryan Rayburn. Backed up by Bourne, though. That'll go as a leadoff single. That's
good hustle by Ryan Rayburn. Also a good swing by Nick Castellanos. He's not trying to pull the upper 90s fastball thrown by Salazar. He breaks his bat, but he still takes the proper direction with the hands, pulling the bat knob through first, and then getting the barrel of the bat, and he gets himself a single into right field. It's a great approach.
More nice job of backing up Rayburn. And that'll bring up Andrew Romine with nobody out. Romine showing bunt, drops one back down to the mound. They'll go to second in the dirt. Nice pick there. Boy, Salazar was bailed out that time.
They're down by 2. Romine had to be bunting for a base hit. And the thing that happens here is Romine's feet are still moving when he makes contact with the baseball. If your feet are moving and you're thinking about running before you bunt the ball, usually it's going to be a poor bunt. And that was a poor bunt by Andrew. Right back to the pitcher.
Pretty sweet backhanded pick here by Aviles.
Yeah, not a very good throw by Salazar, but his shortstop bails him out a little bit. Romine got down the line with plenty of speed to beat out the throw. It'll go down as a fielder's choice for Andrew Romine.
Bring up Rajay Davis. Rajay 1 out of 4 in last night's game. He's batting .285. Couldn't lay off that letter high fastball.
And when a guy throws as hard as Salazar does, one, you don't have a whole lot of time to determine whether it's going to be a ball that you could handle down in the strike zone. And a lot of the Tigers are starting to look for those fastballs, but you have to lay off that one that's up. You just can't hit that one.
One thing a pitcher will do, too, is he sees a team starting to make offers at those high pitches. He'll stay up there.
Floated down the right field line. Rayburn will have to play it on a hop. To third base goes Romine. And the Tigers in business now. Runners at first and third in the opposite field single by Rajay Davis.
Well, a couple of nice at-bats by Castellanos, who singled the opposite way, and also Rajay Davis, who singles the opposite way. You just can't try to pull this fastball in the mid to upper 90s. Even though that ball's up, Rajay Davis somehow able to fight it off. And down in that right field corner, Rajay probably should have been on second base after the bobble of Rayburn, especially with his speed.
He has tried to steal twice this year against the Indians, and both times has been thrown out by Yan Gomes. Meanwhile, Kinsler at 306 with runners in scoring position this year.
Well, Kinsler, another guy that has to lay off the high heater. He's got the uppercut swing, and he's got to keep the ball down.
Salazar in trouble for the first time in this game. He struck out Kinsler in the first, and it's line to center field. That's going to drop, base hit. That'll get the Tigers on the board. Davis on his way to third, and now it's a 2-1 ball game. Kinsler's 80th RBI of the year.
I really like the adjustment the Tigers have made here against Salazar. He kind of had his way against him the first couple of innings. He was throwing that fastball right by everybody, but they were trying to pull those. Now the last 3 hits he's given up, all 3 of those hits have been the opposite way. You don't have to barrel up and try to get out in front of a 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
Rod talked about being short to the ball. That's exactly what Kinsler did there. He didn't try to do too much. He got the bat, head out very quickly, and not a very good pitch, even though it was a high-speed fastball. That's a belt-high fastball, and you're going to get hurt there. He's had success running it up let her high and keeping it down, but you throw it middle half. Good luck.
Now Torrey Hunter steps in.
We'll see if Salazar starts to make an adjustment here against Torrey Hunter, not starting him off with a fastball, instead going to something softer.
High into the gap in right field. Rayburn on the move. He'll make the catch. Davis will tag, and he's coming home. The throw will be cut off, and it's a sac fly. Hunter drives in the tying run.
Torrey Hunter getting the job done. Another fastball out over the plate. And he drives it to the outfield. So we'll start all over. Tie ball game.
Torrey's been outstanding this year. Runner on third base, less than 2 outs. There's very few times he has not gotten the job done.
This is 76th RBI. Davis scores standing up. 2-2 game. Here is Cabrera now with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Just threw it away. Salazar was cruising along until the leadoff single by Castellanos here in the third. Cabrera's had 10 hits on the homestand. That was closer.
It's a really quick move by Salazar. Ian Kinsler has a really aggressive lead out there.
Salazar just breezing through the first 2 innings, primarily fastballs, and that might have worked against him. He starts this inning, fastball to Castellanos, Romine, Davis, Kinsler, and Hunter, all hitting fastballs. He might have to make an adjustment.
Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Miguel. So Lobstein, who gave up the 2-run shot in the first, has now watched his teammates tie this game. And in the meantime, he has settled in nicely. Swing and a miss again, 0-2. Kinsler at first base, 15 steals this year. Salazar has coughed up the lead here in the third. Now the 0-2. Ball high, Miggy would not chase.
And Salazar, one of those guys you want to get early. Once he gets to the 5th inning and beyond, his earned run average in those games this year that he has started, his ERA is right around 2. But when he does not go 5 innings, the ERA balloons all the way up to 7. So he is very much the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde out there.
And his record kind of reflects that. Coming into this start, he's 6-7 with a 4.19 ERA. It's a puzzling thing for pitching coaches. You see a guy who does really, really well when he pitches well and wins, and really, really poor when he's not on. Kyle Gibson for the Twins, another one of those pitchers.
Oh, he got him that time. Kinsler is picked off. So with Cabrera at the plate, Kinsler picked off to end the inning. However, the Tigers able to tie this one up. They get a couple of runs here in the third. 2-2 game.
Brantley strolls to the plate here. Take a peek at some of the work he's done this year. He already has 19 home runs. He's driven in 93 runs. He's made an all-star team. He's one of the better left fielders in the game. He's got a legitimate shot of winning a Gold Glove this year. He might take it away from Alex Gordon. That's just how good he's been out there. What an outstanding player. Really, baseball is just getting introduced to the youngster, Michael Brantley.
It's been impressive. 2-run homer back in the first inning. Got the Indians off and running, but they haven't done much since.
He's got that quick setup. I mean, not a lot of moving parts. He just takes one little stutter step. He gets set. Very difficult to throw fastballs by guys like Brantley, who get set as quickly as he does.
Well, the Tigers have not been able to get him out all that often. 403 this year versus Detroit pitching. 1-1 on Brantley. Brantley's home run in the first inning was just his 4th of the second half. He's hit most of them in the first half. 15 of his 19 in the first half. Yeah, he continues to march toward 100 RBIs. He has 93. That's in there for a strike. Lobstein has gone to 5 3-ball counts already in this game. He's at 2-2 right now. Santana then Gomes to follow here in the 4th inning. Drill to center field. Davis coming out. Rajay holds on to it. 1 gone. Well, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Here's Carlos Santana. Santana struck out in the first inning. Lobstein bouncing one in. Popped up right at home plate. Avila didn't even have to jump into the screen that time.
He sure did not.
2 gone.
In case you missed it, here's a nice play that Avila made last night on a foul ball. He was able to locate it rather quickly off the bat of Avilas and jumped into the net to make a nice play.
Brad Ausmus had a little fun with that in post game last night. He said he would have made that catch without the jump, but it was still a nice catch for Alex.
You get more style points this way. 2 outs now, and here is Yan Gomes. Ball 1 missing outside.
Yan Gomes, dangerous fastball hitter and dead pull hitter for the most part. 18 home runs this season for Gomes, and he's driven in 62. The Indians identified that Gomes was probably going to be their starting catcher in 2014. He played a lot behind the plate down the stretch. In 2013, they gave him a real nice contract before this season began, and then they handed the starting job over to Yan.
It'll pop up back a second. Kinsler on the run, can't get it. Base hit just out of his reach, and Gomes goes the other way with a 2-out single. Well, Jack was talking about it. Brad Ausmus talking about the leaping catch last night from his catcher, Alex Avila.
It was a nice catch. I would have caught it without the jump, but it was a nice catch.
And Brad wasn't kidding either. He would not have jumped after that ball.
Brad's in pretty good shape.
He is. Ausmus winding down his first year as skipper of the Tigers, hoping to get his team to the postseason. Here's Kipnis. Strike 1 on Kipnis.
You see Brad in the gym all the time at the hotel the Tigers are staying at, to getting his workout in. How many times you see Jim Leland down there?
Wait, did you see the pool or the workout room?
Skipper would be at that pool, though, wouldn't he?
Every day, man. Working on that tan.
Used to be the track.
Well, he throws that in, too. I love Jim Leland. He probably got a chuckle out of that.
I challenge you to find a manager in the big leagues that is in better shape than Brad Ausmus. He is a workout fiend, no question. 0-2. Jason Kipnis. Just off the plate. 1-2 the count. And the 1-2. Bouncing ball right side. Cabrera diving stop. Lobstein gets over there nicely.
I see you, Miggy.
3-1 in the putout. Nice defensive play by Miguel Cabrera with Lobstein covering at first base. And when the Tigers come to the plate in the fourth, they will have Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez. The fire out there in right field. The Tigers and Indians, game 2 in the series. And the Indians have a new right fielder now. It's Tyler Holt taking over for Ryan Rayburn.
And not sure what happened to Ryan Rayburn, but he did leave his feet on a base hit in his direction by Nick Castellanos.
I don't know if that was the play that took him out of the game, but he is done for the evening, it appears. Well, Miguel Cabrera will stand in there. He was at the plate when Kinsler was picked off back in the third.
He had 2 strikes on him, too, so Mickey's got a fresh count now.
It's fouled back out of play 0-1.
Salazar continuing to throw those mid to upper 90s fastballs upstairs to the Tigers batters. It did not help him out very much in the third inning when they were able to score 2 runs.
One thing he hasn't done is pitch inside. He's been throwing hard, but everything is away.
Breaking ball that time fouled away. 0-2.
Isn't that what most pitching coaches teach nowadays, though?
They
down
do.
and away,
They
down
do.
and away, down and away.
Their theory is that the spray charts show you hit the ball more the other way and it opens up a bigger part of the field than the ball. And the one we're talking about is the one that Brantley hit. That was a fastball middle half in. That's why they don't want you to go in, because if you miss on the plate, that can happen.
Time call down as Salazar was ready to deliver, and Cabrera stepped out late time there.
I don't know what they're going to throw here, but they finally shook to a fastball here in the 0-2 count, and Salazar is just trying to overpower Miguel Cabrera here today with that mid to upper 90s fastball. Here comes another one.
Ooh, threw it by him. At 97, 5 strikeouts.
Here's what the Tigers were able to do in the 3rd inning against Salazar. He was able to strike out 4 in the first 2 innings, by and large with this same fastball that we're getting ready to show you. But really nice at bat. One by Castellanos, one as well by Rajay Davis, another one by Ian Kinsler, another one by Torrey Hunter. And the theme here was every last one of the guys shortened up their swing. They just tried to make contact, and they were rewarded because of that. You try saying that 3 times. We're rewarded.
It's kind of cold. But
Jeez.
They did well because of it. How's that one?
No, that's a tongue twister there.
We're rewarded.
Oh, my goodness.
1 ball to no strikes on Victor.
Had success.
Well, the Tigers are going to score some more if Salazar leaves those fastballs belt high. He's going to have to locate it. It's a good one. It's one of the better ones in the game, but you leave them out over the plate, and they're going to figure out a way to get to it.
Usually he throws the ball down in the strike zone. He's got real nice arm action. Throws from that high 3/4 arm slot straight downhill. But for whatever reason, either the body's rushing, which is causing the arm to lag, or he's throwing that fastball up there by design.
Third baseman Chisenhall now has really moved over quite a bit. Entire third base line wide open. A strike call. 2-1 on Victor.
I was talking to Victor and Omar Vizquel down in the dugout today before the game, and we were talking about his 2-strike approach and talking about how long he had been switch hitting. Victor says he's been switch hitting since he was 6 years old.
Drives this one in the air to right field. Deep. Pulled back. Looks up. And it's gone.
What a year Victor's having.
That is his 31st home run of the season, and the Tigers have the lead.
We'll get to see this pitch again, and I'm pretty sure it's another belt-high fastball. And that's just what we're talking about. You have to make adjustments in this game. Danny Salazar's going with better arms there is. He's got to keep the ball down, move it in and out. Right down Broadway.
Something else that Victor Martinez does very well, he is a veteran hitter, and he's a very smart hitter. And he knows that Salazar has been trying to bully all the hitters today with that fastball. But Victor, he opened up his hips early. That got the barrel of the bat right over the heart of the plate. He was able to punish that mistake fastball by Danny Salazar.
And you mentioned it too, Rod. He didn't overswing. That was just a nice, quick, compact swing. He wasn't trying to yank on it. And Salazar provided the power, going a few rows deep in right field.
But Victor was talking about the fact that he's been switch hitting since he was 6 years old. And Omar Vizquel said he didn't start switch hitting until he was 20 years old in Double-A.
Let me explain why Victor has just been so good both sides. And you and I are to talk about this a lot. When you have a switch hitter, typically he's much better, much better from one side. Yeah,
he slashes 300 from both sides of the dish. And he's been doing it for about 8-9 months in a row now. Since July 1st of last year, there's been no better hitter in the American League than Victor Martinez. Nobody.
Victor now is just 2 RBI shy of 100 as well. So he'll be joining Cabrera soon.
Well, with 31 home runs, Victor and Omar, 2 different style of hitters. Omar was kind of a table setter. Victor cleans up the whole plate.
And Omar also said he was a natural right-handed hitter, but once he started switch hitting, because you get so many at-bats against right-handed pitching, he said he became a much better hitter and much more comfortable batting left-handed, even though he learned how to bat left-handed after he had turned 20.
JD swings and misses.
And we're probably going to see Salazar start to do a little bit more of that. Throw a few more breaking balls here tonight.
Probably really has no choice, does he?
He really doesn't. He has to make some kind of an adjustment because the Tigers have adjusted to his fastball.
Tigers fell behind 2-0. They got 2 in the third to tie it up, and now Victor has put them ahead. Here's Avila. Meanwhile, 6 strikeouts for Salazar. Ball 1 to Avila.
You also talked about a Rod where he might be rushing. That's exactly what he's done all night. Danny Salazar does have a good arm angle when he's keeping the ball down, but his lower half is going way too quick, and his arm, as fast as he throws, just can't catch up.
One ball, one strike on Avila.
Of course, I know no sooner say that, and then he stays back and throws a nice fastball down in the zone.
No, but the point is well taken.
And he's 2 away now from throwing 50 in this game. This will be number 49 coming up. He overmatched Avila with fastballs in his first at bat, struck him out swinging back in the second. Here comes another fastball. 1-2. Three to 2. Tigers have the lead. They have 4 hits in the ball game now. 1-2 is swung on and missed, and again he got him with a fastball. 7 strikeouts for Salazar. However, the Tigers have taken the lead courtesy of this. Victor Martinez, number 31, a career high for Victor. He just continues to add to that career high. 3-2 Detroit. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by Chevy Truck Mug, where great deals and great trucks come together at your Chevy dealer. Back here in downtown Detroit, the Tigers and their fans enjoying a somewhat chilly night at the ballpark, but a good night so far. They lead 3-2 over the Indians. And this one now will go to the 5th inning. Ooh, that one, little one's all bundled up. Got some candy going there. That's for mom, though.
You're right.
Lobstein goes back to work.
All that baby wants is that binky, that pacifier.
Tyler Holt getting his first at bat, taking over for Ryan Rayburn, batting in the 7th slot. Rayburn walked in his first at bat and then was taken out of the game. Still waiting on the reason why Ryan was lifted from the contest. Meanwhile, it's 0-2 on Tyler Holt.
And Lobstein pitching now for the first time in the game with a lead.
1-2. Lobstein really making the most of his opportunity here in the month of September. I mentioned he got his first chance in relief in that game in Minnesota back on August 23rd. Bouncing ball to third behind the bag. Castellanos. 1 out.
Castellanos really starting to move his feet better at third base. That's the one thing that Omar Vizquel has been working on him all year long. Keep your feet moving, stay on the balls of your feet, stand in athletic position, and then you're able to make the majority of the plays. He backs up quickly, stays on the balls of the feet, gets rid of the ball in a hurry, and makes an accurate throw across the diamond. Matt Martin also works quite a bit with Nick Castellanos at third base.
Chisenhall looks at strike one.
Matt Martin's duties during the course of the game is to watch the video, and he's the one that gives the heads up or the thumbs up or the thumbs down to Brad Ausmus to challenge plays.
The other thing about Castellanos, it seems like every single throw that he makes has been on target. He's got a very accurate arm.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but that's a great point. It is very accurate.
Here's the 1-1. Ripped to right field. That'll drop in. Base hit.
These left-handers continue to get some really good swings tonight against Lobstein. The majority of the hits he's given up today have been to the left-handers.
Hey, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Lobstein now has allowed 4 hits. Here is Jesus Aguilar. Looking up some minor league numbers on Aguilar, and I came across his numbers at AA last year, in which he knocked in 105 runs, but he hit only 16 homers. How do you knock that many in with only 16 home runs?
Damage. Runners in scoring position. Lots of doubles.
Here's the 0-1. Lifted back out of play.
Lots of base runners. You need your teammates to be on base.
Yes, sir.
And then you have to do something once they're on. You got to remember that's in a month shortened season,
right?
Major League season too. So
yeah.
Pretty impressive.
105 in the minor leagues is awfully good. 20 or so less games, fewer games. Here's the 0-2. That's a line drive to left and a base hit. Chisenhall on his way to second, and the Indians now have something going with 1 out.
And didn't Stephen Moya have 105 RBIs this year in AA? But he had, what, 35 home runs, right?
Right, he had over 35. So, I mean, those numbers are more in line.
Right.
You're knocking 105 with 16 long balls. You are pretty much getting it done just about every at bat. Here is Michael Bourne.
Yeah, Bourne's a good bunter. You don't know if he's thinking about doing it here, but when he gets it down, he's difficult to get out when he drops it in the area that he needs to.
No sign of it there. Strike one. Bourne didn't like it, and he's letting Rob Drake know it.
He telling Rob Drake, let's go. Looked like
nothing but
Michael
black.
Bourne had a beef.
Those hitters
sound like a pitcher.
How many times did you scream that when you were on the mound? Nothing but black.
I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I told you my theory. They got a bat in their hand. They're going to home plate. What are they using it for? Swing.
1 ball, 1 strike on Bourne. He'll swing there and swing right through it.
One thing I've noticed about Lobstein, his slider and his fastball are very similar in speed. He might have to figure out as he progresses here a way to make a little bit bigger difference between the two. Doesn't throw a lot of changeups. It's pretty much fastball slider.
Hardy and Albuquerque warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Sails outside. The count evens now 2-2 on Bourne.
That is one of the things that we brought up last night. The fact that David Price went out there and nearly pitched a complete game against the Cleveland Indians. That really allowed Brad Ausmus to really limit the usage of his bullpen. Therefore, everybody down there is good to go tonight because of what David Price was able to do.
In on his hands. Cabrera will handle it. That'll move the runners up. 2 gone.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on Kyle Lobstein. He's not a hard thrower. Top fastball 90 miles an hour, which makes it imperative for him to work ahead in the count and actually stay on the corners south of the knees. And he must change speeds, change eye levels, you name it. He's got a pitch out there to be successful. Does not have a lot of margin for error.
Good news, he throws primarily strikes. He's given up the one walk. That was to Rayburn back in the second inning.
So here is Aviles, and he takes ball one low. Getting the word on Ryan Rayburn and why he left the ball game. Left knee hyperextension. So he's out for the rest of the night. Now the 1-0. 2-0 on Mike Aviles.
If you're Aviles, you're hitting in a prime spot here tonight. Second in the batting order, ahead of their best hitter, Michael Brantley, who's already homered. He's driven in 93, I should say. You're going to get some pitches to hit.
Well, he needs to come back and get one right here because you don't want to face Brantley with bases drunk.
Here's the 2-0. Strike call, 2-1.
That's good location, good fastball right there.
He hasn't been afraid to throw that fastball inside today to the right-handers nor to the left-handers.
Now the 2-1. Fouled off. 2-2 on Aviles. Sacrificing a fly ball tonight for Aviles, who began his career in the Royals system, had a really good rookie year. A couple of years in Boston as well.
This is the situation that's a little harder for Kyle Lobstein than it is for maybe Scherzer or Verlander or Price. They've got that put away pitch with the runners on. And Kyle's going to have to make a pitcher's pitch here.
That's a good point. It's nice to be able to reach back, throw 97.
Oh, drop a hammer on somebody, or fastball in the upper 90s that they can chase out of the zone. It's a big advantage.
Now Avila's out to have a chat. It's a quick one. Lobstein surrendered the 2-run homer to Brantley in the first, but nothing after that. Trying to pitch out of a 2-out jam here in the fifth. Fouled back. 2-2, the count stays.
Pitch count getting up there now for Kyle. 85 pitches. And activity in the pen. You might look at this a lot like his last start against Cleveland. He went 5 1/3 innings. He may just be asked to get out of this inning. It could be the end of his night.
I don't know for sure, but somehow, some way, if he loses Aviles.
Ground ball, foul.
They may go to the bullpen to bring in the left-hander to go after Brantley, feeling like Brantley may be a better opportunity at making sure the lead stays where it's at.
Two and two, the count remains. The left-hander warming up right now is Blaine Hardy, who we have seen pitch late in games recently.
Now early today.
Yeah, fifth inning. He may just get in here if Brantley does come to the plate in this inning. And again, the 2-2. Aviles shoots one down the right field line. Fair ball. It's going to go up against the wall. It'll get 2 runs in. Aviles is on his way to second base. A 2-run double. And the Indians have reclaimed the lead 4-3.
Well, that ball had eyes. Mike Aviles just flipping the bat out there. Fastball in the outer half and doing a good job of keeping it fair.
This fastball may have been off the plate. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's about 3-4 inches off the plate, but Aviles knew and the Lobstein was going to be around the plate for the simple fact and that Michael Brantley was standing in that on deck circle. Real nice concentration there by Mike Aviles.
A couple of really big RBIs. Aviles now with 35 on the year. Gets himself in a scoring position as well for Michael Brantley. That is the 6th hit of the game for Cleveland. Brantley takes low and away. Four to 3 in favor of the Indians. 2-run shot for Brantley in the first inning, his 19th of the year. Drill to right field. Here comes Hunter on the run. He makes the catch on the backhand. Another hard hit ball by Michael Brantley. The Indians, however, get a couple of runs. Could have been worse, but a nice play by Torrey. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bill Tire.
Against Tigers pitching, barrels up that last out of the inning to Torrey Hunter. Torrey Hunter comes in and makes a real nice grab before that ball hits the ground, and Michael Brantley looks at Torrey Hunter, and Torrey Hunter says, well, sorry, I've got to do my job. And Michael Brantley gave Torrey one of those looks like, don't hit anything to left field.
That's a great smile right there. Another hard hit ball by Brantley. This time the Tigers are up to the task.
That's exactly what Brantley's thinking. Anything in my direction, I'm going to catch it.
So ball up high as the Tigers come to the plate here in the 5th inning. Castellanos, Romine, Davis, 7, 8, 9. Salazar again taking the mound with the lead.
That was the bottom of the lineup that did the damage off of Salazar in the 3rd.
Fastball in there.
Yeah, Castellanos started it off with that bloop single to right field, and Rayburn left his feet on. Rayburn was unable to make the play, and the next 3 hitters went on to have really good plate appearances.
1-2 on Nick. 30 doubles this year for Castellanos in his rookie season. He's hit 10 home runs. He's knocked in 59.
Salazar has thrown a grand total of 53 pitches already here tonight.
Ripped down the left field line. That's going to get down and go to the corner. This will be extra bases for Castellanos. His 2nd hit of the game, and it's a leadoff double. 2 for 2 for Nick.
Game of momentum. The Tigers coming right back after the Cleveland Indians score a couple runs off of Lobstein.
Yeah, Castellanos was sitting on a fastball. There were 2 strikes. There's no doubt about that. But that was a split-fingered fastball that Salazar left right over the heart of the plate in the mid-80s, and that sped up Castellanos' bat, and he hits his 31st 2-bagger of the season.
Now we'll see if Romine's going to be asked to bunt him over to 3rd base.
Romine Final swing away, and he did not go. 1-0 on Andrew. 3 out of 11 on the homestand.
I was getting ready to say, of the 55 total pitches that Salazar has thrown, 37 of those have registered 95 and above on the radar gun.
It's amazing. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Tigers trying to come right back after giving up the lead. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 2-0 pitch. High, 3 balls, no strikes. Rajai Davis waiting on deck. Romine taking all the way. It's a strike call, 3-1. Here's the 3-1. 3-2 now.
Take a look at one of the balls that he threw to Romine. You can see that he's just not finishing off sometimes. Standing straight up, kind of spinning off that one instead of following through with his front shoulder towards his target. That might be an indication that his legs are getting a little tired.
He's gotten back in the count here, 3-2. Slice to left field, base hit. Castellanos going back to second base.
I don't know exactly what happened there. Castellanos should be on third base. He knows that. Michael Brantley was not going to catch that ball. And one of the ways that you can determine whether that ball's not going to be caught or not is you have to know where the outfielders are playing. As soon as this ball leaves his bat, if you're Castellanos, you take a few more steps toward third base. Then when that ball falls in, you can get yourself to third base.
Something you talked about last night, Rod, that Miguel Cabrera does so well. He's constantly with his head on a swivel.
Looking at the shortstop, looking at the second baseman, looking at all of the outfielders, and also looking at them from pitch to pitch and at bat to see if guys are moving. In case you're wondering on Rajai Davis, he has one sacrifice bunt this year. I don't know if Brad Ausmus will ask him to bunt the runners up in the scoring position or not, but I just gave you the total.
They are trying quickly to get Atchison warmed up. And Callaway trying to buy as much time as he can on the mound. So the Tigers in business now with runners at first and second, nobody out.
If Rajai Davis is up there bunting, it's very difficult to bunt guys that throw hard like Salazar, especially if they throw you that ball up in the strike zone in the mid-90s. Rajai will have to simply lay off that ball, because if he doesn't, he won't get the job done. He'll simply pop it up to one of the infielders.
Tied at the corners. Expecting the possibility at least. Rajai singled, scored a run back in the third. And he is attempting to bunt. He pulled it back. Ball 1. There's Dave Clark checking the dugout. Dave likes to get a running start with the signs, doesn't he?
He sure does. He's animated out there. DC. He once wore that Cleveland Indians uniform. That's where he made his big league debut with the Tribe.
Good bunt. Salazar will take it. And he'll throw out Rajai, who gets the job done.
Second sacrifice now of the season for Mr. Davis.
That's just good baseball. It's good to see a guy who's able to give himself up and get the job done. keeps the bat on top of the ball. Rajay runs well. Good bunt. The fact that Salazar had to go to his right. No other play other than to go to first base.
That phantom cam look there of the executed bunt by Rajay Davis was a thing of beauty. I mean, you can't do it any better than Rajay did right there.
So now the Tigers a base hit away, perhaps from taking the lead back.
If you're Kinsler, but you don't want to swing at the breaking ball out of the strike zone, simply stay with your fastball and take your sac fly.
Ball one. The Tigers in last night's game were 5 for 11 with men in scoring position, and already tonight they're 2 for 2. As Kyle Lobstein looks on from the bench, he surrendered 2 in the top of this inning. Now the 1-0. 2-0 the count on Ian Kinsler.
When Salazar's getting behind in this count, it should give Kinsler an opportunity to really keyhole a pitch, something that he totally wants. If he doesn't get it, just take it.
Line drive caught by the shortstop and no other play.
Good base running there by Andrew Romine, and he was reminded of that fact by Dave Clark before the pitch. Anything on the line, make sure you get back to the bag, and that's exactly what he was able to do on a hanging breaking ball there thrown by Salazar.
He hung it right up there, didn't he?
Look at Romine. If you take 2 or 3 steps to that next base, you're a dead duck.
So it'll take a 2-out hit now from Torrey. Hunter had a sacrifice fly in his last at bat. Well, think about Torrey, Ron, that really amazes me, even at his age, is that one is ruled a strike. In his last at bat, he took a mid-90s fastball up and around the letters and still got on top of that thing.
Still quick hands, real nice hand-eye coordination. That's something that Torrey has always done very well. He's always been a really good fastball hitter.
That's what keeps you in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Once you start losing or not catching up the fastballs, the word gets out in a hurry.
Even though Miguel Cabrera really has not quite been himself this season as far as the home runs are concerned, he's still a dangerous bat, which means Torrey Hunter knows beyond a shadow of a doubt he's going to get something really good to hit here against Salazar as long as he stays patient.
Blocked there by Gomes. Hunter's 2-out risk this year, runners in scoring position, is .297. He's been clutch, and as a result, Torrey has 76 RBIs this season. Castellanos and Romine, the base runners with 2 outs. 4-3 Cleveland. We're in the 5th. Low and away. Now it's 3-1. The possibility of facing Cabrera just increased.
Oh, this is a fastball count. I don't think Salazar has the confidence to throw the breaking ball here, so Torrey can just sit on the fastball.
Popped him up. Shallow right field. Holt coming in, and the Tigers will strand 2. No runs, couple of hits, 2 men left. On to the 6th we go. Minor league honors their player of the year, Stephen Moya, who's up with a big club right now. 35 home runs, and Austin Kubitsa had a really nice season down in West Michigan.
A couple of guys that one already here, and I'm sure we'll see Kubitsa at some point in time with the numbers he was able to post this year, 10-2 with 140 strikeouts.
Well, we have a wall-side windows pitching change. Kyle Lobstein done for the night. Al Albuquerque is the new pitcher.
67th game for Al. He's going to be asked to stretch out a couple innings, perhaps.
Lobstein goes 5, and he will leave the ball game trailing by a run. There's still more activity in the bullpen. That is Hardy, who was warming up earlier in the game with Albuquerque. Carlos Santana leads it off. It'll be Santana, Gomes, Kipnis as we travel to the top of the 6th here at the ballpark. And ball 1 from Albuquerque. Pop-up strikeout for Santana in this game. Pulled on the ground to second. Diving stop, Kinsler from a knee. Out at first base.
Look out, Ian.
What a play by Kinsler. He has done it again from that second base position.
His baseball instincts are simply off the chain at second base. That's a couple of steps and a dive, and he simply robs Santana of a base hit, and then he throws off one knee, not even looking at first base. One bounce to Miguel. Miguel able to finish the play off.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy play for Miguel either, but he was able to focus, concentrate, keep his glove there. Just a good play all around. Albuquerque appreciates it.
Yes, he does.
So do the fans. What a play by Kinsler. That'll bring up Yan Gomes. What a momentum changer plays like that can be. Instead of a leadoff man aboard, now the base is empty with 1 out. Gomes 1 for 2, single lineout, and he looks at a ball inside, 1-0.
You know, the Kinsler errors have gone up just a tick the second half of this season, but he's got a legitimate shot of winning his first Gold Glove. And very few at that position have played better than Ian Kinsler.
Trouble is, there's a couple guys, one named Pedroia, one named Cano, that have always been on the top of the list.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Well, hopefully he can take over and take it from one of those guys.
Kinsler has committed 8 errors all season long. He is 4th among American League second basemen in fielding percentage.
Jose Altuve, another one that's really done a good job.
He's got 200 hits already, Jose Altuve.
1-2.
Is that Albuquerque slide piece. Albuquerque can simply tell the right-handers that pitch is coming, and if he locates it where he located that last one to Yan Gomes, very few right-handers can even hit it. Here comes another one.
Ew. Swing and a miss.
Not fair.
2 gone. Time for a game break now. To the studio we go with Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thanks very much. Don't appreciate the bad news, but thanks anyway. There's a strike called on Jason Kipnis.
It's an important homestand for the Kansas City Royals. It's a 10-game homestand, but they've dropped the first 2 to the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, because they'll flip-flop with the Tigers. They'll finish on the road while the Tigers finish at home. JD handles that one. Kipnis is out. 1, 2, 3 inning.
tonight for the Cleveland Indians made his major league debut on August 7th of last year. He struck out Miggy 3 times in that game, but Miggy would have the final word. It was very late in the game. That was a final pitch that Salazar threw that day, and Miggy prevented him from winning his major league debut.
Well, he's gotten him twice in this game. Strikeouts in the first and fourth innings, and now Cabrera coming up for the third time against Salazar. We'll see if history will repeat itself.
Well, if you're going to face Miguel Cabrera, you want to face him in situations like this. Nobody on base.
He is in scoring position, however, you know that, Jack.
One swing will do that.
Ball 1. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Indians. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Tigers.
Miggy really just has not been able to catch up to that fastball that Salazar has been throwing him today. Most of them have been 95 and above. Miggy just a little tardy on most of them. There's another indication of what I just said.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera, then Martinez, and then J.D. Martinez.
And really no secret these days. Miggy just not able to use his lower half the way that he has been able to use it the last couple of years because of the ankle injury. And because of that,
Salazar throwing a couple breaking balls this at bat. Now with 2 strikes. We'll see if he goes back to that breaking ball or just throws the gas again.
Yeah, that fastball he was tardy on, but you can see Miguel cheating with the body, the front leg, the hip opening up because he's looking for that fastball in the upper 90s, and he's just swinging at that breaking ball that he normally wouldn't swing at when he's got a better base. Right now he just doesn't have that really good base because of the hernia surgery in the offseason. Then he's got the bad ankle, so does not have that good foundation right now.
Salazar has not thrown 1 pitch in the middle half of the plate to Miggy. Everything has been away.
Bouncing ball back up the middle and gobbled up there by the second baseman Kipnis. So Cabrera is 0 for 3, 1 gone in the 6th.
Salazar's pitch count in very good shape. Here he is in the 6th inning with only 75 pitches. Well, Victor kind of cheated, opened up a little bit on a fastball last time, tied the game up.
Somehow a baseball got loose out in center field. There is action in the Cleveland bullpen. Zepchinski, the lefty, and Scott Atchison, the righty. And apparently one of them's a little wild because one of them threw a ball out of the field. Or it bounced out of the field, one of the 2. Victor takes a ball inside that skips all the way to the dugout.
If you're Salazar tonight, you've got to understand situations. Victor got you last time, and the guys behind him, J.D. Martinez and Alex Avila, he struck out twice each. So you've got 1 out and 2 guys that you've had a pretty good luck with so far tonight. You might want to be careful with Victor.
Well, not only has he gotten J.D. Martinez twice here tonight, but he struck him out 4 times the last time they met. So that's 6 straight strikeouts by Salazar of J.D. Martinez.
1 ball, 1 strike. Victor's home run in the 4th inning gives him 98 driven in. There's J.D. waiting on deck.
And no problem for Victor Martinez hitting with 2 strikes. He actually told me today he prefers to hit with 2 strikes. He says every time he gets himself in this particular count right here where he's sitting 2 balls and 1 strike, he gets a little jumpy. He tries to do too much. He says I'd much rather hit with 2 strikes, and you've got to have a tremendous mindset to say that.
Yeah, I mean, is he like the first guy ever to say that?
Probably.
I've never heard that before.
He told me that today. Have you seen his numbers with 2 strikes, Jack?
Well, I totally understand what you're saying, and I don't doubt that he said it.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, and it's a strike. All right, well, he's got what he wants now.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, why don't you just Swing at 2 in the dirt and then get ready to hit.
327 with 2 strikes. That's the best in the majors.
Play him to pull on the infield. There's the 2-2. In the air toward left, playable though. Brantley is under it for the second out of the inning. Here's J.D. Martinez. Well, here are the numbers that Rod spoke of. Career against Salazar.
He better get a hit because there's managers that pay attention to stuff like that. He might not sniff them again.
No. That computer will spit him out next time, Jack.
Warning.
He'll get spit out.
0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts.
Not too many managers left in the game that'll say, you know what, you're due. I believe in you today.
Swing and a miss, 0-1.
There'll be some smart writer come in and remind the manager, and they'll say you're right. He's not in the lineup because of that.
JD's going to get him right here. He's going to bring an end to this.
You need him to get him.
I do. He's my player of the game. Come on, JD. 1 ball, 1 strike. Who'd you pick today, Ron?
I had Rajay.
Oh, that's right. Well,
I had him with 2 hits and scoring 2 runs. He's halfway there.
And Jack Hedlowski, who is
my guy's gone.
He's out of the game now.
Honorable mention.
Salazar ready with the 1-1. 1-2.
It really doesn't matter what Salazar is throwing up there. Martinez, JD just not picking the baseball up out of the hand of Salazar.
Ball high, would not chase. 2-2 on JD Martinez. JD 6 home runs this year against Indians pitching. It'll bounce in. Now the count goes 3-2.
How about JD Martinez and how he ranks with a lot of the other left fielders in the American League? He's only played 108 games. If you look up and down at the numbers, Cespedes, Brantley, Alex Gordon, Melky Cabrera, there's JD Martinez right there, and he spent the first month of the season in the minors.
Inside and high, draws a walk. I'll take it. 2 out, base on ball.
And if you're the Tigers, if you thought JD Martinez would rank this high with all the other left fielders in the American League, you're just not being honest.
No, not at all. I mean, he has just gone far beyond what the Tigers expected.
Hitting over 300. He has hit as many home runs as Cespedes, and Cespedes has played 140 games. And he has 51 extra base hits. That's more than Alex Gordon of the Kansas City Royals, who's played in 141 games this year.
Looks like we have a wall-side windows pitching change. Tying run is on as JD gets the walk. Salazar is done. We'll be back. Place a deposit on 2015 Detroit Tigers season tickets and receive 2014 postseason priority. Call 313-471-BALL, or if you'd like, go online. Visit Tigers.com. Get hooked up.
Well, it's a rematch. Mark Zepchinski coming in to face Alex Avila. This is the only hitter he faced in last night's game. Alex got him for a base hit. There's the numbers for Danny Santana as we speak. The runner at first base is still his responsibility.
Numbers on Zepchinski. So Avila, who had little luck against Salazar, struck out twice against him, now facing the lefty. And a ball outside, 1-0. Do you think there was any part of Tito Francona thinking about leaving Salazar in since he had overmatched Avila in the first two at-bats?
I think at this point he's just going to go with the odds.
Now the 1-0. Sails outside, 2 balls, no strike.
Yeah, Zepchinski throws from that kind of sidearm angle. Not quite sidearm, but it's a low 3/4 angle. He's got a fastball that will top out at 94. Average heater, 92. He's got a slider. He's got a changeup. Likes to sink the fastball. Not many sinkers. Mostly fastballs and sliders to the left-handers.
Here's the 2-0, and it's outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
I guess, Jack, he would classify as a slinger, wouldn't he?
Yeah, left-handed slinger. He's going to be asked to get this one out right here. I got to believe Francona's going to make another move after Alex.
And they've had the right-hander warming up. Can't see him facing Castellanos, who is on deck. Now the 3-0. And a strike on the outer edge. 3-1 on Avila. That could have been ball 4 easily.
Got the benefit of the doubt there on 3-0.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. Zepchinski lives in Aliso Viejo, California in the offseason. Born in Illinois. He's had time with the Blue Jays, Cardinals. Joined Cleveland last year from the Cardinals. And the 3-2. Fouled straight back. JD was on the move on 3-2 with 2 outs.
We got the slight shift on Alex Avila. Shortstop playing directly behind second base.
I mean, forever hitters have been taught to hit the ball up the middle. And that's where you get most of your hits. But not these days. They usually have a guy that's standing right behind the pitcher. So even if you do hit it past the pitcher, and there's a guy sitting there waiting for the baseball. That used to be a hit for a number of years.
Forever.
Bouncing ball foul down the first base line.
Most managers, and there are some that look at the data, but there's quite a few managers out there that employ these types of shifts just to get into the hitter's head. And if you get guys thinking about driving the ball the other way, if you get a big slugger, you know, trying to bunt when he normally wouldn't bunt, most managers will give you that bunt base hit versus you trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. They like to play mind games with some of the big hitters.
And he walked him, ball 4. So Zepchinski unable to do his job. The lefty gets a walk. He's going to bring up Castellanos.
Back-to-back walks now from the Cleveland pitchers. Here comes Francona again.
We'll go right back to the bullpen. Zepchinski will come out of the game. Tigers now have the tying run at second. Scott Atchison about to come into the ball game. So Zepchinski gets it up, or gives it up. He will depart. Pitching change. We'll be back. Right now battling it out in the Central Division, the Tigers, the Royals, and the Indians. Tigers will finish their season at home. They still have 3 coming up in KC next week. Royals, meanwhile, will finish up on the road against Minnesota and Cleveland. I beg your pardon, Cleveland and Chicago, rather. And, well, the Indians, they desperately need tonight's game. Otherwise, it's going to be a long road.
For Castellanos, you can sit on the slider here. That's what Atchison throws most of the time to right-handed batters. You're guaranteed to get at least one of those. Hope that's the one you get's hanging.
Way outside, 1-0 on Castellanos. 4-3 Cleveland. Tigers have a couple of 2-out walks.
Scott Atchison is a guy that Terry Francona goes to a lot, and he might be his good luck charm. You saw that he has 6 wins out of the bullpen.
He had him in Boston, too. And he pitched for Tito in Boston and pitched very well for him.
1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Kyle Crockett, the left-hander, starting to warm up.
He got to spend some of his meal money. Right?
Here's a 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2.
It's the big leagues.
Fill out that uni a little bit more.
It'll come quick enough.
We can all speak from experience on that. 1-2 on Castellanos. And he stayed outside. 2-2 on Nick.
And lots of sliders. That's his go-to pitch. He does it, and he throws it more than any other pitch, especially to right-handed batters.
Atchison spent a couple of years in Japan, 2008, 2009. Been around the game a long time. First year of pro ball was 99. And he got him. Strike 3. Castellanos took it looking.
Slide piece.
Tigers get a couple of walks, but strand both. And 6 in the books here at the ballpark tonight. The Indians still lead by a run.
Bell Tire pitch by pitch. The scouting report on Atchison is the fact that he's going to throw the right-handers lots of sliders, and that's exactly what Castellanos got. He got 5 straight pitches. All 5 were sliders, and the final one he took and did not pull the bat off his shoulders on either of the pitches.
So as a result, it remains a 4-3 ball game. And the Tigers now have brought a new pitcher in. It'll be Joakim Soria.
He was reactivated off the disabled list on this homestand. He's pitching in his 43rd game. And he could be a big part of this bullpen as the Tigers go forward towards postseason.
We'll get a pinch hitter now as we start things off in the 7th. It'll be Jose Ramirez. Played last night, was 1 for 4. And it's in for a strike. Ramirez, Chisenhall, and Aguilar due up here in the 7th. 4-3, Cleveland on top. Castellanos in tied at 3rd as Ramirez takes low, 1-1. Ramirez called up in July, getting an opportunity to play some short with the trade of Asdrubal Cabrera. He's only 21 years old. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back out of play. Outside from Soria, 2-2 the count. Joakim, of course, spending time on the disabled list. And recently came back. That oblique strain that he suffered on August 10th. Right back up the middle, and Kinsler unable to get this one. It's a pinch hit leadoff single here in the 7th. Well, Red Wings Hockey Fest returns to the Joe. Join us tomorrow for an unforgettable day of hockey activities, including Red Wings player and alumni autographs, Q&A sessions, games, photos, and more. Don't miss all the fun. Get your tickets today at DetroitRedWings.com. Now Lonnie Chisenhall.
If you're Soria, you have to keep your double play in order. That means you have to pay special attention to Ramirez. He's got 8 steals. He's only been caught once since coming up from the minors in July. And Miggy down there having some fun with him.
Look at him. Here's the 0-1. Chisenhall looks at a strike, and now it's 0-2.
Ramirez doesn't want anything to do with Miggy, and Miggy can't leave him alone.
Miggy trying to distract the youngster.
He's trying to pay attention to the signs.
Sandy Alomar, first base coach, veteran, Latin player, probably laughing underneath his breath about the whole situation. But he's got to keep a straight face.
Bouncing ball to short. This could be 2. There's a 6-4-3 double play.
Real nice job there by Soria, making sure Ramirez could not get a good jump and simply threw the ground ball that he needed to throw. And a very nice job by Romine and also Ian Kinsler. Nice feed to Kinsler. Kinsler with a very quick exchange, getting the ball over to Miguel Cabrera for 2 huge outs.
That'll bring up Aguilar. Tiger bullpen trying to keep this one a 1-run game. Aguilar in the ball game, a single and a flyout. Singled, scored a run. It was the big 2-run double by Aviles in the 5th inning, which right now is the difference. On the outer edge, a strike. 0-2.
That's a well-located fastball there from Soria at 90 miles an hour.
Swing and a miss. And Soria carves him up.
That's the best inning Soria's thrown since he's put on a Tigers uniform.
Nothing doing in the 7th inning for the Indians. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. The ballpark tonight, Paul, is cutting a run with the Stormtroopers. And they're having a good time. 4-3 in favor of the Indians as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Mario and Pemba, Jack Morris, Rod Allen with you from the booth tonight. And Jack, what do you got on Kyle Lobstein? Gave up the home run early, kind of settled in, and then a big hit later in the game.
Well, he kept the team close. One-run ball game. The Tigers have a chance to get back into it here with one swing of the bat. So I thought he did a nice job.
There's a bouncing ball to second for round number 1. As Romine is out. Victor Martinez, another home run in this ball game, and he's doing his best down the stretch here to keep his team in this race in first place.
Well, he's legit. There's no debate about that. He's in the MVP conversation. He might just win his first batting title in the major leagues. And one of the things I love about Victor is the fact that he got that 2-1 fastball inside from Salazar, opened up the hips ever so slightly, which got that barrel of the bat in the area that he needed to do some damage. He's been special.
A big game for the Indians tonight and for the Tigers, obviously, but the Indians trying to certainly stay in this race, and they're going to have to win as many games down the stretch as they can. Atchison is still out there as he throws here in the bottom of the 7th. One gone. Rajay looks at a strike.
And Rajay might just want to drop down a bunt against a guy like Atchison that throws a lot of sliders.
Ramirez, the new shortstop, but Vilas will move to right field. It's going to be a tough play. Oh, Ramirez, it's not in time.
Ooh, what a play by Ramirez. Anybody else running on the Tigers side, and that's an out.
And it looks like Terry Francona's coming out.
Yeah, he's waiting for the video guy to give him an idea. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
And do-or-die play by Ramirez, who throws off balance and gets enough on the throw, and it's a very close play.
I think Rajay did beat it. Terry Francona goes back to the dugout. And your guy's got 2 hits, Rod.
Well, I had him for 2 hits and 2 runs scored before the game began today, and I don't know if I mentioned the stolen base, but that's what's in line right here.
No, I don't recall you mentioning the stolen base.
I didn't say that's what it is.
I think that's what it's going to take. 2 runs scored, too, so that'll tie the game up. Let's see what happens.
Here's Kinsler. Here's the box score for the Tigers in this game. Castellanos couple of hits. Rajai 2 hits.
And Yan Gomes has an outstanding throwing arm. So if you're Rajai Davis, don't force the issue if you don't get a good jump, because you know that Gomes can throw you out, because he has done so a couple of times already this year.
Tying run is on. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 4-3 Cleveland. Another throw back to the bag. Rajai was just a step off that time.
And the one thing that might help Rajai here, if he does want to try to steal a base, the fact that Atchison throws so many sliders.
Kinsler takes one up. In actually for a strike. 0-1.
Like all good relievers, though, Atchison knows that the slide steps an integral part, and he's got a good one. He's quick to the plate.
Davis is 4th in the American League with his 32 steals. Check swing roller to first. It's going to be a foul ball. Boy, that was close. Or is it a foul ball?
Yes. Home plate umpire had a rule because it never got to the bag. Jerry Lane, the first base umpire, just stood there. He was waiting for home plate umpire Rob Drake to make the call. And that'll probably upset everybody on both sides. Rajai did the smart thing by staying there, I guess.
It looked like this ball hit something right there, but it looks like it's foul. Took a little bit of a hop at the end. 0-2 on Kinsler.
Might not be the smartest thing to do, for Rajai Davis to attempt to steal a base here. The combination of how quick Atchison is getting the ball to Gomes, it might not be smart.
Ball high, 1-2.
Tigers have left base runners on in both 5th and the 6th inning, 2 apiece.
From the 7th inning on, Davis is 9 of 10 in stolen base opportunities. Not going here, and it's driven in the air toward left field. Brantley will go back and haul it in.
Rajai going for it.
Throw not in time. Rajai moves up.
He's incredible. He really is.
That took some guts there, but he read it nicely.
Well, let's take a look at Brantley in left field, who we've talked about is a good outfielder. Does he play this ball nonchalantly, anticipating that Rajai Davis is not going to tag up? Yeah, he did. He caught him by surprise. He was backing up. He was on his heels. Rajai Davis got back, and then he took off for second base, able to get himself in the scoring position.
What a heads-up play. Now Torrey can tie this one up with a base hit. Davis hits second with 2 outs. Ball 1.
It's the little things that can make a difference for good ball clubs, especially in pennant drives. And that may be the turning point in this game. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds, but very heads-up base running for Rajai Davis there.
Torrey looks at a strike. A high strike. 1-1. Jabba Chamberlain is warming up. That's appropriate on Star Wars night. Here's the 1-1. Trying to hold up. Half swing there by Hunter.
And Jabba Chamberlain must be a Star Wars fan, because he caught the first pitch today.
Yeah, that seemed by design, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It wasn't Chewbacca that threw it out, though. It was one of them other characters.
Yeah,
who was it, Jack?
He one-opted whoever the knucklehead was.
Who was it?
I don't know.
The knucklehead. fouled out of play.
I'm assuming that's a grown man in that uniform, yes. Mario. That's why. I think he qualifies. There he is. There they are. And there's Jabba. And pause.
Jabba right at home.
Oh, man. One and two. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Hunter is gone. Threat is over. No runs. A single man stranded at second. On Fox Sports Detroit, it's brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Hey, attention, Michigan State University grads and fans. You can get a ticket to see the Tigers play the Twins September 26th at 7:08, plus a Spartans in the D t-shirt. Offer available only at tigers.com/Spartans. Well, nighttime settling in now as the Tigers continue to trail by a run, and Jabba Chamberlain comes on now for Detroit.
See the numbers for Jabba this year. He's making his 63rd appearance, and he will be asked to lock down the 8th inning, keep this game close, give the Tigers a chance to get back in with a swing of the bat.
Chamberlain will have the top of the lineup to deal with. Bourne will lead it off. Bourne career against Jabba 1 for 5. Double run scored back in the first. One ball, no strikes on Bourne. The Tigers have gone with Albuquerque. They've gone with Soria. Soria looked good in the 7th. And now Jabba Chamberlain in the 8th. Here's the 1-0. Sliced back out of play. One ball, one strike. This has been a 4-3 game since the 5th when the Indians got a couple of runs. Kyle Labstein started the game and gave the Tigers 5 innings tonight.
All the damage done tonight by the Indians really on 2 swings of the bat. And the double by Michael Vilas and the 2-run home run off the bat of Tiger killer Michael Brantley.
One and 2 on Michael Bourne. J.B. Shuck has moved to the on-deck circle. Former Angel.
J.B. Shuck played pretty good baseball last year for the Angels, but that youngster Calhoun This year's pretty much taking most of his playing time.
Yeah, Cole Calhoun's had a great year. There's a wave and a miss. Bourne is out of there. Java has his first strikeout.
See Java throwing the breaking ball here. Excuse me, getting on top of the curveball. Down and away, good location. Michael Bourne just swinging over the top of it.
J.B. Shuck was doing pretty well in the Pacific Coast League before the deal that brought him to the Indians. He was hitting .320 at AAA in the Angels system. 151 at the major league level. And Shuck looks at ball one. Each ball club with 7 hits in this game. Shuck loops one foul back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shuck should feel right at home with the Indians. He was born in Galion, Ohio, and went to Ohio State. There's a ground ball. Nice play. Romine sets, throw. Safe at first base. Bang, bang play. Go ahead and challenge it, says Gene Lamont. Didn't take long for Matt Moore to look at that.
Well, he must have got the replay in a hurry.
What a great play by Andrew Romine. Looked like he was moving to his right when that ball got in the hitting zone, anticipating that Chuck would hit the ball in that direction. He took 1 step, he backhanded it, and then he threw flat-footed, but he had enough arm strength to get the ball over to Miggy, and they might have gotten him by a step. Oh, they sure did.
Oh, my goodness, that's more than a step.
He's way out. They should take him about, what, 10 seconds for this one?
They should be back playing right now.
What a great play by Romine. This one should be easy. And you can tell just by how quickly the Tigers decided to challenge this thing.
Umpires, we've seen enough.
Yeah, we don't need to see a whole lot more. And you're out. Shuck is going 6-3. Great play by Romine.
That's a tough play, and he made it look easy.
Take a look at Romine right here. This is before the ball gets in the hitting zone. He takes 1-2 steps to his right, and he's anticipating the ball being hit in that direction, and that's one of the reasons why he's able to get there and to make that play.
The former Angel Romine gets the former Angel Shuck. And there are 2 gone. Brantley looks at ball 1. Big 2-run homer earlier in this game against Lapstein in the first inning. Batting .392 now versus Detroit pitching. Bouncing ball, base hit. Did not get him up. Second hit of the night for Brantley. It's a 2-out single. It'll keep it going for Santana.
That time, Michael Brantley let that ball get a little deeper into the batter's box there and was able to shoot it the other way. Found a hole. Nothing either one of the Tiger infielders could do on the left side.
More action in the bullpen for the Indians. There's Brian Shaw.
Yeah, Michael Brantley has 19 steals this year. He's only been caught 1 time, so he's 19 of 20.
That's part of his game, Rob, that isn't talked much about.
No.
I mean, that's obviously an outstanding percentage.
He's a player that a lot of people in baseball are finally getting introduced to because the Indians have played a few games on national TV. He also made an all-star team this year, so He's starting to make a name for himself in the big leagues. Comes from good bloodlines. His dad,
Mickey Brantley,
played in the big leagues. As a matter of fact, his dad is pretty much still his hitting coach. He talks to his dad on a regular basis. His dad knows his swing better than any hitting coach that he's ever had. Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach of the Cleveland Indians, understands that, and he just allows Brantley to do his thing.
What's his nickname?
Smooth operator.
Dr. Smooth.
He's smooth. It might not be all bad to pitch out here at some point in time if you're Brad. You know that Brantley more than likely is going to try to steal the base to get himself in the scoring position with 2 outs.
Oh, 0-2.
Now might be the time for that pitch out.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary tonight. Michael Brantley now hitting .400 this season against the Tigers. Vickers had a big month.
Oh boy.
He's already hit 4 homers, 10 RBIs this month.
What the damage tonight by the Tigers. 7, 8, 9 hitters.
Pretty good. 5 for 8. They've scored a couple of runs. Brantley edging off the bag. Runner bluffs. Ew, that would have been a good pitch to run on in the dirt. Brantley put on the brakes.
Pace of this game slowed down a little bit here in the last couple innings, but that's because of the importance of it. One swing of the bat could determine it. 1-run ball game. A lot riding on this, especially for Cleveland.
And now Chamberlain steps off. Albuquerque in the 6th, Soria in the 7th, Java here in the 8th. Another foul, 1-2. The count stays on Carlos Santana. We've got off to a really slow start this year. 207 in the first half. In the second half, he's above 270. He's equaled his career high with 27 home runs. Fouled away.
The one thing that they'd like to see Santana do a little bit better job of, and that's sort of cutting his swing down with 2 strikes. He has 27 home runs, so he's got a lot of power. And he's driven in 77. He's walked over 100 times, which are real good indicators. But the one thing he does not do, and he just does not cut his swing down with 2 strikes. Therefore, he strikes out quite a bit.
We were talking about Yan Gomes earlier and the fact that he's the everyday catcher now for the Indians. Santana, they made a few efforts trying to work him in there behind the dish, but it just didn't work. He found a home at third base for a while.
The tapper hits slowly toward third. It's going to stay fair, and that's going to be an infield hit for Santana. They had Brantley on the run there, and he'll move to second. Infield single for Santana. 2 on, 2 out.
Andrew Romine did a nice job of getting over to third base because Castellanos had to field that play and nobody was standing at third. Brantley, if he would have been heads up there, might have raced him to the bag.
So 2 on, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Yan Gomes. It'll be the 9th hit of the game now for the Indians. Gomes a single and 3 at bats. Pretty good this year with men in scoring position. 284. And it's in for a strike, 0-1.
And you must stay away from Yan Gomes. He's got a quick bat. He feasts on fastballs on the inner third of home plate. A lot of power to left field.
Runners go. Swing and a miss, and Avila can't handle it. Both runners are safe.
That's steal number 20 for Michael Brantley. He'll be a 20-20 guy this year. He's got 19 big flies, too. And good secondary lead. Really nothing Avila could do.
Santana will get his fourth as well. And now they're at second and third. 0-2 the count on Gomes. Java trying to close it out here. The 0-2 way outside. Good block by Avila.
That's why that steal of third base was very important for Brantley. The fact that now he can score on an infield single. He can score on a wild pitch. There's a few other ways you can score from third with 2 outs that you can't from second. It doesn't take a base hit to score you now.
It was a risky attempt right there. You never want to make the third out at third base. But they got a good jump off of Java. He happened to throw it low where Alex had a tough time handling it.
Oh, where was that?
Yan Gomes is looking for a slider, which is a mistake to begin with, and he almost took this fastball right down the middle for strike 3.
Oh my goodness.
He would not have been able to swing the bat, pull the bat off his shoulder, and because he was looking for that slider. Java does throw a lot of breaking balls.
Gomes is alive with a count of 2-2. Little chat on the mound now.
There's a regular discussion right here. You could see that Java wasn't happy with whatever Alex was flipping down there for the pitch, and we're going to discuss it. And I think this is good that the catcher and the pitcher talk about it. Ultimately, this is the pitcher's decision. He knows better than anybody what he feels comfortable in throwing here.
What do you think Java's best?
Well, I think he's
to
throwing
get
the
him out
breaking
with.
ball. Lately, he seems to be a guy that depends more on that breaking ball. He used to be able to run a fastball in high 90s.
There's the breaking ball, but he missed. Now it's 3-2.
You stay with the breaking ball?
You throw it 2-2, you got to throw it 3-2.
Even though you know Gomes is looking for it?
Still got to hit it.
Fastball right down the middle when it gets to strike 3 looking.
Or it could go way yard.
I love this conversation. You guys keep going. 3-2.
That's what baseball is. Guessing game.
Ground ball to third. That is a foul ball. Well, Castellanos tagged the bag at third base, but that was not a force play.
That's a good. Fortunate that it was foul ball because Nick forgot that there wasn't a runner on first. Carlos Santana went to third base. He would have been safe. It's not a force.
Well, they are really lucky there that that was not a fair ball, because that's a run. Oops. It just dawned on Castellanos. 3-2.
That's a mental mistake you just can't afford to make right there. Fortunately, they caught a break being the foul ball.
Little pop-up, shallow right field. Torrey coming on, and he makes a sprawling catch. He saved a couple of runs. What a play by Torrey Hunter. And a tip of the cap from Java Chamberlain.
Great effort right there. That could be a game changer.
Hunter saves the day. It's still a one-run game.
Hunter in right field, who did not get fooled by the swing of Yan Gomes. Gomes has a lot of power. Torrey Hunter did not take too many steps back. Therefore, he was able to come in and make an outstanding grab. Torrey Hunter has already won 9 Gold Gloves in the big leagues, and he showed you right there the reason why.
And a lot of times, a great defensive play can stir the offense. That might be what the Tigers need right now. New pitcher for Cleveland will be right-hander Brian Shaw. Java pretty happy with that play. Why wouldn't he be? Great effort right there for Torrey Hunter. See the numbers for Brian Shaw. He's pitched a lot for Cleveland. Very good earned run average and a very good whip.
Well, that's one of the things. Sorry about that, Jack. That's one of the things that Francona had to do a lot of this year. He had to dip in that bullpen quite often because their starters weren't going very deep in games.
J.B. Shuck takes over in right field. Now, Shaw's going to have to go through the meat of the Tigers lineup. Cabrera, Victor, and J.D. Martinez.
Just about every single pitch that Shaw will throw you will be an outstanding cut fastball. Anywhere from 90 to 94 miles an hour. But he's got a lot of action on that pitch. In many ways, it acts like a slider.
Cabrera in the month of September, .432. He's been held hitless in this game, though. Those 3 at-bats versus the starter, Salazar. Did he go around? Negative. 3-0.
Take a look at the action on this pitch thrown by Shaw. This is a cut fastball, but look how much it slides in the strike zone. I mean, that ball starts on the outside corner and ends up a 1.5 feet outside.
He walked him on 4. So Cabrera's aboard.
Take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Their starter, Danny Salazar, to a fastball and a 2-1 count to Victor Martinez right around belt buckle high, and Victor Martinez hit it out of the ballpark for his 31st home run of the season. Well, you wonder what Brad Ausmus is thinking here with Miguel Cabrera. It's a 1-run game. Miggy not running very well. Well, I guess there's that answer.
There's your answer, indeed. Here comes Ezekiel Carrera. He is representing the tying run. Cabrera is, so Ezekiel will take over. Carrera for Cabrera. Miggy will watch his evening come to an end.
Ezekiel does have the ability to steal a base. He stole 43 bases down in the minors. He's stolen a few since he's been here, but the problem is if he does steal second base here, you open up first base. Francona would not pitch to Victor Martinez, even though he would represent the winning run.
Ball gets away, but not far enough from Santana. 4-3, bottom of the 8th. Tigers down by a run. They have the tying run on.
I agree with what you said, Rod. I also believe that no matter what, Carrera has to get to second base. That's part of the steps to get to home, and that represents a tying run. You got to tie it before you can win it.
Shaw throws strike 1.
Tough cutter right there. Good one for Victor to lay off of. That's a tough pitch to handle.
Victor homered back in the 4th. He's 31st of the year, 98th RBI.
Hitting over 400 in the month of September, 419 to be exact.
Fly ball right field, right at Shuck. That'll be the first out.
Here's that cut fastball that just got in on the hands of Victor ever so slightly. Now you can run if you're Carrera.
Got away with one there.
Didn't some guys against Mariano Rivera, who had really the greatest cutter, who were switch hitters, sometimes bat right-handed against that pitch because it got in on their hands if you batted lefty?
There were quite a few guys that did that against Mariano. Mariano had better numbers against lefties than he did righties.
Yeah, then he just started right at you and cut it and break it from the front door, inside corner.
Here's JD, and he looks at a strike.
He definitely revolutionized that pitch, though.
Yeah.
He put it on the map, and there's a lot of guys now trying to throw it, especially relief pitchers.
Is it less stress throwing the cut fastball than the slider?
Yes, it is, because you're just cutting your fingers through a fastball. But the trouble is, you also hang a lot more than a slider, and that's what's been the problem for a lot of guys. Is everybody wants to throw it.
They go a long way.
You make a mistake, and it's just a nothing fastball.
Shaw made 70 appearances out of the bullpen last year for Cleveland. He's got 1 on, 1 out here in the 8th in a 1-run game. Another quick throw, and Carrera scampers back.
And it's something that Terry Francona has leaned on quite a bit this year. Shaw, Atchison, also Cody Allen, their closer. There's Terry Francona and his bench coach, Brad Mills. They're good buddies. They went to college together. The University of Arizona. And every single big league job that Terry Francona has had, Brad Mills has been on the staff.
Part of the package.
Philadelphia, Boston, now here in Cleveland. Brad had a little bit of a managerial stint with the Houston Astros. Didn't go very well. They didn't win very many games.
Fouled away. 0-2 now for Martinez, who typically has excelled late in games.
Pretty impressive right there. If you're going to hit home runs and you want to be a hero and well liked by your fans, hit them late.
It's a big crowd here tonight, and they're waiting to erupt.
Yes, they are.
It tends to score you some extra points when you hit them late, right? 0-2 on JD.
I got a kick on Rajay Davis's comment about a walk-off.
Swing and a miss.
He says, everybody's watching.
He's a funny man.
Well, Martinez strikes out for the second out of the inning, and as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Here's Alex Avila. Avila tonight with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Ball 1.
Every single pitch that Shaw has thrown since coming into the game, total of 10, has been that cut fastball.
Great Mariano Rivera. I mean, that's all he threw too, and everybody knew it. You'd think they could have sped up the game a little bit quicker. Why even give a signal? You know what he's going to throw. Can't hit it anyway.
Joe Nathan warming up for the Tigers in their bullpen. Now the 1-0. That drops in for a strike. 1-1 on Avila. Indians tonight have gone with Zepchinski. Atchison his pitch. Shaw has come out of the bullpen. Salazar was lifted in the 6th inning. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. No throw. And they're going to send it back to first base. Gomes, I think, was hitting the mask.
Yeah. Interference.
On the backswing by Avila.
So Carrera has to go back.
Finally, something other than the cutter.
Pretty good acting by Yan Gomes.
Really good.
It's kind of a Hollywood name, if you ask me.
Yan Gomes. Yeah. He took the initial hit and then just decided he better fall back a little.
Yeah, delayed reaction.
Well, Carrera, he has to be on the move again. They did not pinch run him for Miggy to stay at first base. Miggy could have did that.
One ball, two strikes on Avila.
Now, hopefully Alex can hit a gapper and then we can see Carrera run.
Shaw walked Cabrera. Carrera came on a pinch run, then a fly ball and a strikeout. And Carrera has remained anchored at first base. Runner goes on 1-2 way outside, and Gomes could not get a handle on it. So now the tying run in scoring position.
Very good jump right there from Ezekiel. He stole that off the pitcher Shaw, even though Gomes bobbled the ball. Look at the jump he gets. He's gone. 2 steps and he's full speed.
Stole it with no throw, his 7th of the season at the major league level. Now we'll see what Avila can do with a 2-2. Just off the plate, 3-2.
Shaw's tried to backdoor him a couple times with that cutter, starting it off the outer part of the plate and bringing it back on the outside corner.
And the 3-2. Avila swings, sends it high in the air to right field. Shot going back, track, wall, and the Tigers have the lead. Alex Avila with a 2-run shot. His 11th of the year. He hit some big ones.
Well, Shaw went to the well too many times, and there's the one that he leaves over the middle, and Alex just jumps all over it.
Looked like that may have been a breaking ball, not so much that hard cut fastball. He's been running in on the hands of Victor Martinez, and somehow, some way, Avila was sitting there waiting for Shaw, and what a huge home run for Avila.
2-out, 2-run shot in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Avila has made it 5-4 Detroit.
5 of Avila's 11 home runs this season, 7th inning or later, and he just wears out the Cleveland Indians pitching.
Cabrera got it started with a walk. And Castellanos looks at a ball.
Well, you knew as soon as that came off his bat, that was going to be a home run. The boys on the bench pretty excited about that one. Now Joe Nathan will be coming in the game in the 9th. He's going to be coming in a safe situation.
Kiss of death. Leadoff walk late in games.
Meanwhile, Avila has just hit his 3rd home run of the year against Tribe pitching. He came in batting .341 against the Indians. Stunning home run here to give the Tigers the lead. That ball's hit deep. Shuck circling, and he'll make the catch. However, the Tigers go ahead. Alex Avila, 2-out, 2-run shot, and the Tigers have the lead. The lead 5-4. A 2-run shot for Avila with 2 outs. And the Tigers now lead by a run, and Joe Nathan is on to try and nail this one down.
Joe Nathan is making a bid for his 31st save of the year in 37 chances. The ERA sits at 4.87 right now, so it continues to inch its way down. He has punched out 51 batters this year. He's walked 25 in the prior 55 games he's appeared in. But Joe Nathan, really, the last month or so, 6 weeks, he's been doing nice work in that closer's role.
The key will be the leadoff hitter. See the changes for the Tigers.
Davis now in left with Carrera in center, Hernan Perez is into the ball game at third, and Don Kelly at first. So Joe Nathan goes to work facing Jason Kipnis. And it's a strike called as the 9th inning is underway. 5-4 Tigers.
And Don Kelly really guarding that line down at first base. Nothing that comes off the bat of Kipnis will get to the left of him and stay fair.
That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Torrey Hunter also in right field, playing rather deep. No doubles depth. Not so much for the center fielder Carrera and the left fielder, Rajay Davis.
Here's the 1-1. Lifted back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, the Tigers bullpen tonight. Albuquerque in the 6th inning. Soria scoreless 7th. Chaba in the 8th, and now Nathan in the 9th.
Well, we brought it up last night when David Price was on the mound. The fact that David Price goes deep in games. That bullpen was rested tonight. And the bullpen really showed up here in the 6th, 7th, 8th. And hopefully here in the 9th for Nathan to do his job. But it starts with David Price last night.
Ball away. 2-2 on Jason Kipnis. There's Price, who was marvelous last evening.
He saves the bullpen.
Just missed again. 3-2 now on Kipnis.
Yeah, you don't want to walk Kipnis. He still has the ability to steal a base, and Joe Nathan doesn't do a very good job at shutting down the running game.
Well, it was the Achilles heel for Brian Shaw, walking the leadoff man in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Now Nathan with the 3-2. And he walked. Leadoff man is on. Let's check in with Justin White now with the preview of tonight's Tigers Live.
Well, Mario, the Tigers dugout absolutely erupted when Alex Avila slugged that 2-out, 2-run homer. And coming up in moments, we'll chat with Alex. You'll also hear from Brad Ausmus and a whole lot more. Trevor Thompson and Craig Monroe inside the Coliseum Studios. Tigers Live right after the game. Guys, back to you for now.
All right, Justin, thank you.
I don't know what Terry Francona is going to do here with Jose Ramirez, but he has used him quite a bit this year to sacrifice. He has quite a few sacrifice hits.
Hernan Perez on the grass at third base. They are expecting the possibility at the very least. And he shows bunt, drops one down. Nathan comes off to make the play. His throw is in time. So the tying run moves to second base.
That is now 12 sack bunts for Ramirez. And he didn't get to the big leagues until July.
That's a lot. Nathan has been 13 of 14 in save opportunities since July the 1st.
Well, it's pretty much pick your poison now for Brad Ausmus. He's going to go out and have a conversation with Nathan regarding who he wants to pitch to. Chisenhall's been very good this year. Murphy, who has spent some time on the on-deck circle, Francona has put him in the on-deck circle.
So with a runner at second and 1 out, here is Chisenhall. Ronnie in the ball game tonight has hit into a pair of double plays. He's also singled and scored a run. Strike one on Chisenhall.
That was a very quick visit there by Brad Ausmus. Any idea, Jack, what he may have said there? I mean, it took, what, 3 seconds?
I think you were absolutely right. He's going to say, hey, would you rather have 2 guys on and pitch to Murphy, or do you want to go after Chisenhall? And probably Joe said, I want Chisenhall. So I'm sure that's as simple as that conversation was.
Now Nathan ready with the 0-1. Bounce again. Avila stops it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kipnis the tying run at second.
Romine playing in the hip pocket of Kipnis. Kipnis does have the ability to steal, and usually not afraid to steal third, but boy, it would be risky to attempt to do so here with Chisenhall in the batter's box, the left-hander, and Romine playing as close as he is to you right now, preventing you from getting the maximum lead that you would need to get to steal third.
Now the look at second on a spin move, and Kipnis going nowhere. But back to the bag. Nathan walked Jason Kipnis to start the 9th inning. Sacrificed by Ramirez. And now Chisenhall up there. Get fouled down the left field line. 1 and 2.
We talked about Kipnis being at second base and the fact that I don't think he's running, but Gerard Dyson, he was running a couple of nights ago when Kansas City was in town, and that was a huge out right there because it looked like the Kansas City Royals had gotten the first couple of runners on base. Dyson was going to steal. Spin move there by Nathan, able to pick him off, and he went on to strike out the next batter. That would be Salvador Perez.
2 strikes on Chisenhall right now. He's got to be more conscious of the hitter. Get the out right now and don't worry about Kipnis. Be aware of him.
Might go fastball upstairs to try to get a swing and miss here. That breaking ball down is a risky pitch.
Oh, swing and a miss. And throw down to first base to get the strikeout.
Huge out right there. And we got him chasing.
So it's going to be down to Murphy now for the Indians.
Joe did go down with the stairs with a breaking ball. He took a little bit of something off the curveball, and there was Avila to block it, and then throw down the first base to get the out.
And Avila does another great job of blocking that ball, keeping it in front of him, because Kipnis would have been taken off right there, getting to third base, but it's a strikeout. 2-3.
So here is David Murphy, who this season with runners in scoring position is .376. This came off the disabled list with an oblique injury. He's their last chance.
He's got good numbers against the Tigers as well in his career. Most of those numbers came when he was wearing a Texas Rangers uniform.
Ball 1 outside.
It's also one of the reasons why the Cleveland Indians decided to sign David Murphy in the offseason. Good numbers against the Tigers, really good numbers at Progressive Field as well in Cleveland in his career.
Has 1 career home run against Joe Nathan. Kipnis at second. He's the tying run with 2 outs. Crowd getting into it now. 41,190 in attendance tonight. Strike called. 1-1.
A nice job of locating the fastball to the glove of Avila. Avila had his body off the plate, but the glove was resting comfortably on the outside corner.
Well, Joe fell behind David Murphy in the first pitch. And you certainly don't want to throw him a cookie with the base open. You still have to make your pitches. See if he's going to be over aggressive the way Chisenhall was.
Avila's 2-run homer gave the Tigers the lead in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Now the 1-1. Blowing away, 2-1 on Murphy.
Everything to Murphy's been away.
Two and one on Murphy. Top of the order, Michael Bourne waiting on deck.
Well, again, Nathan has to execute the pitch that he wants to throw. He cannot afford to make a mistake here and give David something that he can drive. He's got a base open. If you need to restart, you got 2 outs. You just need 1 out.
Little looper down the left field line, slicing foul. That would have tied the game. Now it's 3-2. See the reaction there by Joe Nathan, ruling that one foul.
The game plan doesn't change. The count shifts to 3-2, but Joe still has to make a pitcher's pitch here. Murphy's got to protect the plate, so he'll be hacking.
And more than likely, Avila will not put down a sign. He has already gone out and verbally told Joe what he would like for him to throw on this 3-2 pitch, just in case Kipnis is out there trying to steal signs.
Two on pinch hitter David Murphy. Little pop up, shallow left field. Rajay coming out, and the Tigers win.
What a really nice win here tonight by the Tigers.
A 2-out, 2-run shot by Avila in the bottom of the 8th. Nathan makes it hold up, and the Tigers will hold on to their half-game lead. A great win indeed for the Tigers. So with Kansas City winning tonight, the Tigers still hold on to first place. And it took the Avila home run, and Nathan closed it down. Rajay Davis hauling in the final out. Joe Nathan gets the save. And everybody goes home happy tonight. So here's what the standings look like updated in the American League Central Division, with KC winning tonight, but the Tigers do as well. And it remains a half-game spread. Cleveland now is 5.5 out of first place.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex Avila got himself a breaking ball over the heart of the plate from Shaw. Shaw had thrown primarily cut fastballs to every other hitter in that inning, and Avila somehow got that breaking ball that he drilled out of the ballpark for a 2-run home run, and the Tigers bench simply erupted.
Comeback win tonight for the Tigers. They beat the Indians. We'll be back to Comerica Park.